Welcome back to the show. In this episode, I'm going to show you exactly how to get to $10,000 per month in sales and fulfillment inside of your woodworking or your handmade business. Let's dive in. All right, everybody. Well, welcome back to the show. So grateful for your time and your attention as always. In this video, I want to tell you exactly how to get to that elusive $10,000 per month in sales goal as a woodworker or as a handmade business owner. Now, the number one thing that we need to realize as we dive into this is that the goal is not only to sell $10,000 per month, but also to be able to produce $10,000 per month in product, right? Because if we're selling $10,000 a month, but then we're only producing $5,000 per month, that's all we can produce, well, then our lead times are going to get astronomically wild as we continue to do that month after month. But if on the flip side of that, if we're able to produce $10,000 per month, but we're only able to sell $5,000 per month in product, well, then we're going to run out of work. We're going to outwork or outpace our sales. So we want these to match, right? We want our sales to be able to run at $10,000 a month and our fulfillment to be able to run at $10,000 a month as well. And so I'm going to give you 3 really practical steps today on how to make this a reality. So just quick side note, if this is beneficial for you as you're watching this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're putting out tons of content all around the business side of how to grow your handmade or woodworking business. Now, also, quick side note, it's raining right now. It's extra cozy today, so if you hear the rain, I do apologize. But let's dive into step number 1. So step number 1 to selling $10,000 per month as a woodworker or a handmade business owner is get clear on what you sell. What do I sell? Who do I sell to? And how do I sell it? Okay, so we're getting really clear on these 3 things. This is how you get to $10,000 per month. So I want to get extremely clear on what I sell. Okay. And when I say get extremely clear, is what I mean is that if, let's say, you sell 10,000 things, we don't want to do that. We want to get down to where we find the most profitable and most sought after thing that we sell, and we want to just hammer away at that thing. Okay, so what do we sell? Then who do we sell to? You know, let's say you have some sales in the past. If you could, demographically classify those people, is it men between the ages of 20 and 30? Is it women between the ages of 30 and 50? Is it new married couples? Is it people moving into new homes? If you could classify this group of people that these are the people that I sell to, who would that be? And then lastly, how do we sell what we sell? We want to get really clear on our marketing and sales strategy of how we're going to sell our products, okay? The number one thing that I just want to hammer into your brain is that if you're not making $10,000 per month, it's because you're not selling enough. It's very wow, Zach, this is revolutionary information. Well, the problem is that all of us we try to figure out, okay, well, I got to break $10,000. Well, we start working on our logo and we start working on the products and we start working on all sorts of things. And what we don't work on is the very thing that's going to actually make it a reality, and that is our sales and marketing, right? So if you're not selling $10,000 a month, it's because you don't have sales and marketing fired up and honed in. That's really it. If you're not selling $10,000 a month. Now, once you sell it, then you got to fulfill on your promises. You have to make $10,000 a month in products or whatever that might look like that you do. But the reality is if you're not hitting those goals, it's because you're not selling enough. And you got to figure out how to sell more. So that is the bottleneck. That is the constraint inside your business. We talk about bottlenecks and constraints all the time on this channel, in our podcast, Handmade Business Secrets. By the way, if you're watching this video and you have not yet checked out the podcast, we've got about 80 plus episodes that we did on the podcast that did not make it to YouTube. So go check that out. Handmade Business Secrets, Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. But so you have to have a plan for marketing and selling. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through a couple different ways to do this. There's not a cut and dry way. Some of these are more efficient and more cost effective than others, but here are ways that you can develop a marketing and sales strategy. So number 1, you build an e-commerce website. So you get on platforms like Squarespace or Shopify. I recommend Shopify. That's what I personally run for my woodworking business. That's what I recommend for all my clients. You build out an e-commerce website that has your products that people can go buy. Now, If you sell really high ticket products, say $500 or more, most of the time you're not going to be able to, most people are not just going to add that to their cart and check out. They want to talk to somebody. They want to know more details. They want to understand the full process, unless you just do an incredible job explaining this on your site. But if let's say that you sell more low ticket items, you're selling $20 items, $75 items, $150 items, you can build an e-commerce site, and as long as the branding is strong, you can expect that people would go to the site and they would check out, as long as it's the right people that you're marketing to that are going to the site, okay? Once you do all this front-end work, it requires, you don't have to communicate a whole lot with the clients, okay? Number two, this is really how I do probably 95% of my selling inside of my business, is that I push them to a conversation with my company on Facebook or on Instagram or on any social media platform. So we run paid advertising on Facebook and Instagram. We want to show them ads, and then we want to direct them to a conversation where we're giving them a free quote. We're helping them customize their table set, their furniture, so on and so forth. That is the marketing and sales plan that we use. And we sell high ticket items. Our average order is around $3,000 to $3,500. And so we want to get them into a conversation with us to where, number one, they can understand who we are as people. We can alleviate any concerns. We can handle objections. And then we can close the sale, okay? Number three, this is another way that you can start selling, is you can set up at trade shows. This is one of the best ways to get to this $10,000 per month mark, but it's exhausting. So you've got to build inventory, you have to travel, you have to set up and sit there or hope bystanders come and buy stuff from you. You're kind of throwing yourself into a sea of competition unless you have just a super unique product. But this is one of the best ways to get your name out there and start getting some clients, okay? And this is how I started. This was where it all began for me. Now, by the time that you pay to have a booth at a trade show, you travel, food, lodging, inventory, I would rather take all that money now and spend that in Facebook ads, because I can run those Facebook ads while I'm sitting on the couch and I'm getting in front of people instead of me having to go be physically present at a trade show. It's a much higher form of leverage. And so I talk a lot about leverage inside your business. This is one of the greatest forms of leverage that you can have, but you can set up at trade shows if you're just getting started, okay? If you want to really scale, I don't recommend this unless you have a team of people that are going and you're selling a lot at each trade show. I know people that own businesses that sell their products wholesale, and they'll do 75 trade shows a year, and they have a team of 2 or 3 teams that will split this up and travel, build inventory, take it. I mean, it's a mess. It's a logistical nightmare, but they probably do $5 million a year in business. So it just depends on what you want to do and how you want to do it, okay? You can send like cold email, or you can cold call potential clients. So if you know that you want to sell to other businesses, well, you can get on the phone and call them. Hey, my name is Zach. This is what I do. Just wanted to make myself known. Are you guys looking for anything like this? Are you looking to expand? Can I build any custom furniture for you? Can I build any custom decor for you? Is there who would I need to visit with in order to figure out if I could be of service to you guys? And so a lot of that, you're going to talk to 100 people before you get 1 or 2 that say yes. And again, it's a low form of leverage. It doesn't mean that it's not beneficial. It couldn't work, but it's one way that you can get in front of people with your marketing and selling. And then here's another one that's really unique, really cool, that's become very popular in the last 3 to 5 years, and that's partnering with social media influencers or brands. And so you partner with influencers, and you give them a kickback on their sales. So what they do is they're going to promote your brand and say, hey, you should check out Iron by Iron Woodworks. Here's a discount code for following me. Use this discount code at checkout or when you have a conversation with them over at the Iron by Iron's Woodworks team. And then what's going to happen is you're going to give them a sales kickback on their shout outs. Or let's say that you sell low ticket items that, it's like you sell $20, $50, $100, even up to $500 items. What I would do is say, hey, I'm willing to send you free product in order for a shout out. To where, let's say I sell something for $100. Well, it's probably going to cost me $40 to $50 to make it. I can send it to them. Let's say they have 10,000 followers. They announce it on their social media page. They post stories about it, and you get 20 sales from them. Well, it costs you $50 to generate $5,000 in sales. Right? So very lucrative, very high leverage form of marketing and sales. Okay. So step 1, get clear on what you sell, who you sell to, and how you sell it. Okay. If this has been beneficial for you and you have not hammered that subscribe button yet, make sure you go ahead and do that, okay? Step number 2, you want to develop a fulfillment strategy that makes sense, okay? So one of the strategies that I teach to all my clients, and even on this podcast, on this YouTube channel, is that when we grow, we want to grow by sales first, and then we want to support that with fulfillment. So we can't go from 0 to 1,000 in sales and only go from 0 to 200 in fulfillment, but we also don't want to build this giant fulfillment team if we don't have the sales to support that team. Because like I said at the beginning of this, if you're only selling 5,000 a month, but you're able to produce 10,000 a month, well, then what's going to happen is you're going to outpace your sales. You're going to have to lay off team members. You're going to run out of work because you're not selling at the rate that you need to. So fulfillment is just another word, by the way, for just making the stuff that you sell. Let's say you sell $10,000 worth of candles. Well, you've then got to make $10,000 worth of candles to sell them, right? So now that we have sales, we refine our fulfillment process to match our sales volume, okay? So for me, for example, I figured out inside of the custom furniture space that I want each of my employees to be able to produce around $3,000 to $4,000 worth of product per full-time employee per week, okay? Well, now I always have a gauge on how many employees I should have based on my sales volume. So if I'm at $50,000 a month, well, I need about 4 employees in the shop because that's about what that's going to equal per month in produced products, okay? Let's say I jump to $65,000 per month in sales, well, I need to add another shop employee. Let's say I jump to $80,000 per month in sales, I need to have 6 shop employees. So this gives me a really clear gauge on how much fulfillment support I need to have with manpower, with team, with systems in order to support those sales. Hopefully this is helping. Hopefully this is making sense. Let me know in the comment section if you have any questions, okay? So the last thing I just want to talk about in this video to try to keep it a little bit shorter is I want to just kind of seriously challenge you to consider selling higher ticket items. And here's the simple math on this, okay? If you sell $20 items and your goal is to make $10,000 a month, you're gonna have to sell 500 of these items a month, okay? That means you have to talk to 500 customers, you have to have 500 interactions, you have to have 500 shipping labels, packages, right? This is a lot, okay? If you sell $100 items, so we've gone from a $20 item to a $100 item, it's gonna take you 100 of these to hit $10,000 a month. Well, 100 is not nearly as bad as 500, but it's still 100 interactions per month, okay? And this is, you have to convince 100 people to pull out money, pull out their card and pay you, right? And let's say that we make this jump from 100 to 1,000, well, now you gotta sell 10 people. How much easier is it to sell 10 people than 100 people? How much easier is it to sell 10 people than 500 people? People think that, man, I don't know how to sell $1,000 items. Guys, it's really not that much harder to sell really high ticket stuff as opposed to low ticket stuff. And then guess what? If you sell $10,000 items, you got to sell 1 every month to hit your goal. This is my challenge to you to move into more high ticket products if you can. Now, for example, let's say that you have already created a business, you've already developed a brand around candles, for example, or something that you're selling for $20 to $50 each. Well, now we can't sell $1,000 candles. Maybe you can, but I don't think you can, okay? So what we have to figure out now, like, this is what I do, this is my brand, this is how I do it. So let me tell you the strategy that you need to take in order to grow, okay? You have to figure out how to increase the lifetime value of each customer. So I don't want to just sell one $20 candle to a customer. I want to figure out, how do I sell 10 $20 candles? So we do this through 2 things. We do this through upsells and cross sells. We want to offer upsells to our clients. So what is an example of an upsell? So an upsell is they go to your website, they buy 1 candle. Let's say they buy it for $20. Well, what you do is when they go to checkout, you say, hey, wait, you're not done yet. What if you could buy 5 candles for $13 a piece, right? So you're saving 40%, and now you're getting 5 candles. What if you subscribed to get a candle each month, a new scent each month? What if we went from this, this size candle to this size candle? These are what we call upsells. So where we're taking from they're buying 1 candle to now we're trying to get them to buy 3 candles, 5 candles, larger candles. Get on a subscription basis to where they're getting a candle each month, right? We want to increase the lifetime value of each one of these customers. That is the goal, okay? Now, that's an upsell. Also, just a little tip or trick here around upsells. to increase the lifetime value of your customers, what I would recommend doing is taking your individual unit prices and jumping those about 20%. Okay. Then saying, okay, if you buy 3 of these, then you get them at this price. So they're getting them at a discounted price, but it's back to the price that your margins make sense. So if you sell 1 unit, well, you're making really good money on that unit. But if you sell 3 units, you're making what you need to make, and then you're increasing the lifetime value of that customer along the way. Okay. So then the last thing is cross sells. Okay. So this is where you can really start to develop as a brand. What you do as a brand that's trying to develop cross sells is, let's say that you sell candles. Well, now you sell candle holders. Okay. Now you sell scent diffusers. Now you sell home decor. Now you sell table settings. You develop a brand outside of, I'm just a candle maker and I have products that complement what I currently sell. So that is a cross sell. So guys, I'm going to wrap this episode up. It's a little bit longer, but hopefully this is helpful for those of you that are trying to get to that $10,000 per month mark. Guys, I would love for you to leave me a comment. Let me know where you're currently at in your business, what you feel like the next step is. I try to interact with every single one of my comments at this point. If you have not subscribed yet, make sure you do that. Hit the bell so that you're notified anytime that we post a video. But other than that, I love you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention, and I'll see you in the next one.